It's your boy Maverick back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about all the movies that I've seen in October. And I'm going to rank them from worst to best. I've seen 9 movies in October. I honestly wish I'd seen more. But without further ado, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the first movie on my list is going to be The Joker 2. And I'll admit, I went into this film with a lot of low expectations. I was aware about the discourse surrounding it, but I still wanted to keep an open mind when I went to go see the movie. Despite this film being at the bottom of my rankings, I actually ended up enjoying Joker 2. It had a lot of issues, sure, but it was really well shot, the acting was great, and I found it to be really interesting. And I feel like it was a statement piece artistically. This nigga Todd Phillips really had the balls to make a movie that said fuck you to the fans that loved the first film he made, and also say fuck you to Hollywood, who put up the money for this film. Now, I really like what they did with Harley Quinn as a character. They flipped the script on how she's usually portrayed in other films and comics. Usually, she's the one in the abused position, and the Joker's usually the abuser. But in this situation, they flipped it, and she was the master manipulator and abuser, which I found very refreshing. So I had a real decent time with this one. I'll give this one a 6.5 out of 10. All right, so the next movie on my list is gonna be number 8, and that's My Hero Academia, You're Next. It's coming in at number 8. It's really low on my list, but it doesn't mean it's bad, because I feel like every movie on this list is honestly a good movie in its own way. So I wouldn't consider myself a die-hard My Hero Academia fan, but I have seen a full season of the show. And I am familiar with the characters and their quirks. So going into this movie, I didn't have like crazy expectations, as I know anime films are usually just more epic versions of the TV show. That's pretty much what you get from You're Next, especially in the fight scenes. Now, I was really invested in the romantic subplot, which was a pleasant surprise. The main antagonist could have been a little bit better, the dark version of All Might, but overall I had a good time. There were even a few genuinely funny moments that made me laugh out loud. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's one moment where one character says a line that genuinely made me laugh out loud, but I'm gonna leave that to you guys. But I feel like there's certain episodes of the show that left a bigger impact on me than this movie did. But if you're a fan of My Hero Academia, you're gonna have a good time watching this film. I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. All right, the next movie I saw was Smile 2, coming in number 7. So the original Smile 2 was the original Smile movie was a surprise for me. I thought it was pretty generic based off the trailers, but when I actually seen the movie, it ended up being really creative and unique. This movie is a masterclass at building tension. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. And Naomi Scott's performance as a protagonist, Sky Riley, was fantastic. And that entity that was attached to her is no joke. I would not want to be anywhere near that. This film just had a lot of really clever jump scares that got to me, honestly. And I've seen a lot of horror films and jump scares don't usually get to me, but they had a few of those in there that really got me. So the next movie on my list is going to be The Substance. The Substance premise alone was enough to get me interested. It follows that whole monkey's paw situation where the gremlins-like logic, where characters have to follow certain rules, and of course you know they're gonna break them. But part of the fun is seeing how they're gonna break these rules. And let me tell you, the consequences for these is disturbing, to say the least. There's a lot of in-your-face cinematography, and it makes you feel really uncomfortable and uneasy throughout the whole film. Now, I will say, if you have a weak stomach, this is probably not the film for you. It's definitely not the film for you. This is one of the most disgusting films I have ever seen in my whole life, and I've seen a lot of disgusting ass films. But if you can stomach it, this movie's a solid 8 out of 10. The Terrifier 3, coming in at number 5. This movie was absolutely bonkers. This shit was cuckoo nanas, and I love it for that. I only seen the second film, I never seen the first one, and I was already shocked by the brutality and the death scenes in that one. But the Terrifier 3, it takes it to the whole nother level. The violence is on another level for real. It's insane. But really impressed me was how much I was invested in the character Sienna. I wasn't expecting that from the Terrifier franchise. I was expecting just like over-the-top horror and gore with no actual characters. But I actually found myself rooting for Sienna. There's a lot of like lore and mythology going on in there, and you could tell the director was having a lot of fun. Sienna and Art the Clown are the backbone of this franchise, and I feel like the things that Art does in this film are things you just will not see any other horror antagonist do. He's very mean-spirited. He does things that crosses the line in most people's books. So if you are not a fan of extreme gore, you will be turned off. But I personally ate it up. So I'll give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. All right, the next movie on my list is The Wild Robot, coming in number 4. So DreamWorks is definitely back, because I went to go see the Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and that movie was amazing as well. So I gotta say, I was really excited to see what they was gonna do, and they did a great job. The Wild Robot is a great film. It has a really heartwarming message about overcoming your programming, which I think that most people can relate to. But it also doesn't shy away from the darker moments, because it's about nature itself, and nature is very dark. There's dark aspects to life, and I feel like they didn't shy away from that because they know children are attracted to that. I think DreamWorks understands that children are attracted to darker themes. Children are very brutally honest, and so I feel like if you're gonna have entertainment for them, it has to respect that. But yeah, it doesn't really shy away from the darker moments, and the animation in this movie is just amazing. With the beautiful watercolor aesthetic, it's just a feast for your eyes. And Lupita Nyong'o's vocal performance as Roz is sure to tug at your heartstrings. And on a lighter note, this movie is also hilarious, with some surprisingly dark humor sprinkled throughout the film. The kind of stuff you see that they got the kind of jokes that you would never see Disney ever do. They got the kind of jokes you would never see in a Disney film. So The Wild Robot is a solid film. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. So the next movie on my list is Piece by Piece, the Pharrell Williams biopic. So I resonated with this film at a very deep level because I grew up in the early 90s and the 2000s. So a lot of the iconic songs that Pharrell has made, I grew up with. You couldn't escape Pharrell in the early 2000s. I really connected with this biopic. And not to mention, the Lego animation is just always going to be charming. The fact that the most recent Lego movie is a biopic about Pharrell should be reason enough to go see it. This is just a masterfully crafted film. It's a masterfully crafted drama with really emotional moments that I related to a lot due to my own upbringing. But I genuinely believe that anybody could connect to the stories in this film. It's an excellent film. 8.5 out of 10. If you haven't noticed, a lot of these films are gonna like rest in the 8-ish realm. It's just how it is. I can't. Now the film coming in number 2 for me is Exhibiting Forgiveness, and this one was a sleeper one. I almost slept on it. It didn't really catch me at all. Something told me that I should probably watch it. So just the title and this cover alone let me know that I was in for a gut punch, and I was right. This is another masterfully crafted drama with a lot of impactful emotional moments as well, just like Piece by Piece, but a little bit darker and a little bit more real. I really related to a lot of this stuff because of my upbringing as well. I had a really rough childhood that I could really relate to in this story. I really felt this film on a deep level. But the way they piece fragments of the past together so you finally understand what happened between the characters is just brilliant. Exhibiting Forgiveness is another 8.5 out of 10 for me. I know, another 8.5. Yeah, whatever. It's my list. You tell me what you think in the comments. Coming in at number 1, and I'm not trying to be cute, Transformers 1. And that trailers really didn't do it for me. Honestly, I thought the jokes was kind of corny, and I just really wasn't feeling the animation style. But I saw a lot of positive reviews from channels that I respect a lot, and I was like, man, I gotta check this movie out. So I actually went to go see it, and I'm so glad I did because this ended up being my favorite movie I've seen in October. The action was phenomenal. It was better than I expected. It was better than those. It's way better than the forks and knives and the blender shit that Michael Bay was doing. And the character arcs of Megatron and Optimus Prime are top tier. And the emotional moments all land. You really feel the progression of the main characters. And Megatron's inevitable turn was done masterfully. The only thing keeping this movie from a 10 out of 10 for me was just a lot of the little childish jokes throughout there. But I get it was a kid's movie, but that Badassatron joke, they did that shit way too many times. So that's going to be what's keeping it from being a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. But there you have it. Those are all the films that I've seen in October, ranked from worst to best. But I want to hear what your list is. If you disagree with my rankings and you would do it different, then I want to see what you put in the comments. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace.